Welcome back to STL TV Live. Every 2 minutes, someone is sexually abused, but fear not, for Moving4ward Ministries is but one of many shelters from the storm. I'd like to welcome Dionna Latimer to the studio. Thank you for being here, Dionna.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me about Moving4ward Ministries.
Well, Moving4ward Ministries, we are a Christian support ministries for adult survivors of sexual abuse. We are here to support them as they go through their healing process, because it is a process once you decide to come out and speak out about the abuse, and that's why we're here.
So what you're saying then is that even if the abuse happened when you were 4 or 6 or 8, and now you're an adult and you're at a point in your life where you need some relief, you need someone
Yes.
to talk to, that's where you come in?
Yes, that's where we come in. We are here because there are many adults that are living and have lived in secrecy for so many years, and now they're at the point where they want to talk to someone, but they don't know where to go. Because, you know, things come up years later, and now they're feeling, you know, like, why am I dealing with this now? But don't really have anyone to talk to, and that's when they can contact us, because we're here to help them and support them.
You're the founder of this organization.
Yes.
Tell me how this came to be.
Well, it came to be, and actually because of my faith, you know, I go to church, and my pastor was teaching on a story in the Bible about a lady being raped by her brother. And at that point, you know, I held on to the secret for 30 years, and so I told my sister, you know, it's time for us to speak up. And we did. You know, after 30 years of not saying a word to anyone, we finally decided to go ahead and speak up. And once we did, there were so many people in our circle that came out with the same thing. They said, you know what, this happened to me as well, and I never told anyone. And at that point, we decided just to have like a one-time meeting that we would meet, discuss, and be done. But of course, that didn't happen, you know. And since that time, we now have Moving4ward Ministries.
Are you finding that there are just an incredible amount of people who've survived sexual abuse that have never said anything, and they're adults living with this?
Yes, most definitely. I mean, we know the statistics are 1 out of every 4 women and 1 out of every 6 men will be sexually abused before they reach the age of 18. And that's really not completely accurate, because some people, these are only people that speak up. So you can only imagine the ones that don't even tell. So because of those stats, we know that there are so many people living in silence. And so it's time that, you know, for them to speak up.
Talk me through the steps. I pick up my phone and I call, or I contact you online. What happens then?
So you'll contact me, and usually the people that contact us will say, you know, I've been abused. And really, they just don't know what to say after that. So then we just kind of talk to them, we encourage them, and actually I will set up a one-on-one meeting with them so they can know my story. And once you kind of share with someone, and then they'll feel comfortable enough to say, you know what, she understands because she's been through it as well, and then they'll begin to open up and talk to you. And even if they sit in silence, that's fine too. You know, they may just need someone just to be there with them, just so, you know, because they're feeling upset or just feeling sad that day. So once they contact us, we'll tell them who we are, we'll let them know our story, and then at that point, they can come join us in our support group, and then we can go from there.
What's the importance of having this kind of a resource in the community?
Oh my gosh, it's so important, because sexual abuse is such a taboo topic. And, you know, and as children, you know, we're seen and not heard. And so now that they're an adult, you know, they have the right, and that's our motto, your voice has a right to be heard. So it's now they can have that relief, and they can just feel that freedom. You know, now I can come out and tell my story and not be ashamed, and then they can know that it's not their fault. You know, they're not alone. We're here with them, we're here to help them, and it's definitely not their fault.
Tell me what changes you see affecting the community providing this service.
Oh my gosh, I just see families being mended, mother-daughter relationships, just people themselves, you know, because now they can actually start this journey, and we just walk them through the journey, and we can see the difference in their lives. And now they don't have to have this self-esteem problem. You know, now they know that they can overcome this issue that has haunted them for years.
You know, it is such an honor to have you here today. It's tremendous work that you're doing in the community. And I want you to keep it right here, because we'll be back with more after the break.